Well, hello everyone. Welcome to my channel. Hopefully everybody's doing okay, and I appreciate everybody takes a moment at their time out to watch my videos. And you guess you're wondering what's going on today. Well, my little van for the last few weeks has been losing antifreeze or coolant more than usual. I normally add maybe a pint a month to it over the past almost 2 years. But suddenly, I'm adding considerably more. Now, I don't have any steam out the exhaust. There's none in the crankcase. I just changed oil, so I can verify that. There's none in the crankcase. And I'm constantly checking the fluid levels. So this is a problem that I can't figure out. I was thinking it was maybe a head gasket, but there's no steam and there's no bubbles in the radiator. But I'm slowly losing coolant. There don't seem to be any contamination in it. The radiator looks clean. But there is one problem that I'm going to change it just to make sure, because I can't get a good eye on it to see. That's the water pump. Its location makes it very difficult to inspect. So I've decided just to replace it. Shipping and all, about $40 for an OEM water pump. And the reason for I want to do that, there's a inspection hole right here. Usually when the pump goes bad, you got antifreeze that will drip out this hose. I'm suspecting that it's doing that, and the belt is actually slinging it, which you can't even get a good view on the belt. But it's keeping it dried off or nothing on the ground. And I don't think it's leaking when it's not running. They just now in their first stage of failure. So I'm going to replace it regardless. You know, it's got enough mileage on it. It ain't going to hurt nothing. I'm trying to do this in miles. It's got 230 some thousand, 203,000 kilometers, which works out to roughly 120, a little over 120,000 miles. So, you know, as you're well aware, most vehicles' components are set for a wear factor of 100,000 miles. And so, this is my project today. And this is actually OEM. It's the original equipment, Japan. So I could have got cheaper, but if you're going to keep something, I recommend doing, if all possible, using all original equipment. But that's going to be my project today. We'll see if it cures my problem. It's been a very concern of mine, because, you know, I've already done coils and spark plugs, and also today while we're at it, I'm going to have the shop do a compression test just to make sure that all cylinders are even, or if there's a variation or whatever. But once I get the old water pump off, I feel pretty confident that's what I'll find. I'll find signs of it been leaking. If not, I still will have a puzzle. But and again, you know, the other day, I got another project going too. My friend's little truck, the 4-wheel drive don't work in it. and I can't get a new part that it needs, so I've got a module coming that controls the four-wheel drive. Now this module also controls the lockup for the front and rear differentials. It will actually make it a posi-track front and rear. So these little trucks get pretty aggressive there when you get them in four-wheel drive. Now four-wheel high doesn't do that. It's still normal limited slip. Now my little truck that I had always was controlled by vacuum. It didn't have the module. So this truck's a little newer than mine. Mine was 93 model. And I suspect this newer will be a 95, 96 model. I'm not running the body number on it, but that's what I expect. I think they did a complete change, either 98 or 99 year model. That's when the little trucks went fuel injected. This one's carbureted. And I'm going, once I get all these things completed, and I've got the horn fixed, and I got a set of taillights coming for the rear, so we have turn signals. Getting it ready for registration is what we're doing. It's behind on registration, so it's going to be a penalty on that, but it won't be too bad. Run across this before. It's not extreme. So we'll get that taken care of, and it'll be ready for the road. And my friend will be able to have transportation when he gets here. I'm not a... when it's someone else's vehicle, I really don't like driving it. I'm just uneasy. I've always been that way. If it doesn't belong to me, I'm very uncomfortable when it comes to driving a vehicle. I guess in the back of my mind, I feel responsible if something happens to it. So it's partially my fault for it sitting like it has, because, well, not totally, but what had happened, that the battery, for some odd reason, he just up and died. And it was almost a new battery. And I went out there one day to start it, and it wouldn't do anything. Put a charger on it, and it didn't help the case any. He just quit cranking. And I've noticed something else too. When he was here with a little truck, he had a complaint. Sometimes it wouldn't start, it wouldn't crank. I've got a funny feeling it was that battery, because now it cranks over fast, and it didn't do that before. It really turned that little engine over with this new battery. So I suspect that battery was bad when he was here. I need to tell him that. Because I remember him complaining about, sometimes he'd park it, and it wouldn't start. Then come back up, fire right back up. So I suspect that battery's bad then. That was pretty quick for it. I used to start it when he first left, at least once every 2 weeks or something like that. And let it run, you get it up to operating temperature and move it around a little bit. But, after the battery died, they just sat there. But that's part of it. But that's what I've been doing here. I've been studying and debating on what's going on with these vehicles. So I know y'all say, well, why didn't you just buy a brand new vehicle? You see the water pump here? That's less money than an oil change on a new vehicle. whole lot less. Not only will it cost me more for an oil change, it's the travel time involved too. It's 4 hours to the nearest dealership. If you're going to maintain the warranty, you got to take it back to the dealer. It says specifically, it's a requirement for warranty. It must be serviced at a dealership. And you know the dealership ain't going to be very affordable, even on an oil change. I've never experienced an oil change at a dealership, so I can't give you an exact price. But I guarantee you it's not as cheap as I can get it done here. Now, I buy fully synthetic oil for my little van, and always an oil filter. And that cost me on the average, right at around $30, including labor. Maybe a little, actually about $25. That's about what it is, about $25 including labor. There's no way I can drive 4 hours back and forth. That's 8 hours drive time for $25. Then add the oil change on top of it at dealership prices. And they don't use fully synthetic oil either. For the new vehicle, any oil that meets requirements, it's fine. They'll last. Engines are designed today, regardless of make and model. They're going to give you good service if you maintain an oil change. Now, I don't use the book recommended oil change because it's just too long and too many miles or kilometers. Using synthetic oil in an owner's manual, they recommend 10,000 kilometers. That's 6,000 miles. That's too much, especially here with the dust and so forth on the roads and the conditions that we drive in. That's just too much. Now, I generally change oil between 2,000 and 3,000 miles or 3,000 to 5,000 kilometers. It depends on what my oil looks like when I check it. Once it degrades in color, it's time to change. The fact is, it's got suspended particles in it. Your oil filter has quit functioning at that point. The filter can only filter so much, and that's it. And once it gets full, it goes into bypass, and you're actually running without a filter. A lot of people don't understand that. So, a little maintenance info. When you check your oil, if it's discolored, it's time to change. My little van, even though it's high mileage, it stays clean for 3,000 kilometers easily. A lot of times it's 5,000 kilometers before it changes color. And I'm sure it's accountable on driving conditions. If I stress the little van out, it's going to change quicker. Like hitting the mountains and actually running peak RPM, peak power, you get more. So, because rings don't seal 100%. You do have blowby, and that's where you get your contaminants from. But anyway, thought to let you know what's going on. And hopefully a little information might help you a little bit. Who knows? And I thank everybody for taking time out. Thank all my subscribers. And please subscribe, like, and share.